Washington. Canada was hit with 35% tariffs on Friday after U.S. President Donald Trump followed through on his threat to increase the duties if Ottawa didn't make a trade deal. The White House has said the tariffs would not affect goods compliant with the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement on Trade. Prime Minister Mark Carney had tempered expectations of an agreement by Friday, saying Ottawa will only agree to a deal if there's one on the table that is in the best interests of Canadians. Carney has described the talks as complex, comprehensive, and constructive. Trump, meanwhile, has complained repeatedly about America's northern neighbor. "I think Canada could be one where they just pay tariffs." "Not really a negotiation," he said last week. Trump signed the executive order Thursday night to slap Canada with the increased duties. A fact sheet from the White House justified the rate change, saying Canada failed to cooperate in curbing the ongoing flood of fentanyl, and also pointed to Ottawa's implementation of retaliatory tariffs. The president has repeatedly delayed his tariff deadlines, but his trade agenda saw some successes in the lead-up to Friday's deadline. This week, he announced deals with the European Union, South Korea, and Pakistan, although many details of the agreements remain unclear. Frameworks for trade deals with the U.S. have been announced for Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, and the United Kingdom. All of those nations are facing some level of baseline tariff. The president on Thursday gave Mexico a 90-day extension on its trade negotiations, but did not extend a similar offer to Canada. In a separate executive order Thursday, Trump increased his so-called Liberation Day tariffs on many other nations, with those duties to be implemented in 7 days. Trump's 50% tariffs on semi-finished copper also came into effect just after midnight, but the latest duty exempts the raw input material. The copper tariffs are landing on top of a growing list of U.S. sectoral duties, which include duties on automobiles, steel, and aluminum. About 80 to 90% of Canadian goods might be able to avoid Trump's higher tariffs because they comply with CUSMA's rules of origin, said Michael Dobner, the national leader of economics and policy practice at PricewaterhouseCoopers Canada. That doesn't mean all of those exporters have filed the necessary paperwork to avoid the duties, he added. It's not clear exactly how much of what Canada exports to the United States is CUSMA compliant. While no industry can be singled out as the one most at risk, Dobner said, any business that must use many